doorbell at Jimmy's house. Now, when you come to my house, my doorbell sounds like this.
Hey, welcome to the People's Weekly on People's Radio United. I'm here, Best Buzz. I'm here with Canadian Glenn. How are you doing, Glenn?
Oh, I'm doing just fine. How's it going, eh?
Yeah. You just went straight Mackenzie on me.
Well, I gotta represent. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. So yeah, it's just me and you today. Everybody else said, screw this show. No, everybody's really busy doing other things. Some very important things for a couple of them. Some just things I had to do. So today it's me and Glenn. We have a whole list of cool subjects we'll be talking about. But first we're going to get started with shamelessly promoting what we're doing, coming up with. Shamelessly promoting our upcoming shows. So, the view up here, what's going on, Glenn?
Well, next week, for anybody who listens to my show, it's a familiar topic. There's the Site C hydroelectric dam in British Columbia. Another one of these lovely, massive infrastructure projects that has gone from $6 billion to $8 billion to $10.5 billion to possibly $12 billion and beyond, and has been under quote-unquote construction for 2 years. It is already 8 months behind in 2 years of a 10-year project. So it's a massive issue. It involves flooding thousands of hectares of some of the best farmland in the entire region, evicting people from their property that their family have had for generations. And that doesn't even begin to talk about how it tramples on treaty rights and land title of Indigenous First Nations. The previous government passed a law to specifically sidestep the review process for this project, and that's how it even was started to be built. So there's a new government in British Columbia. They've already had a study with very limited terms of reference from the commission that was not allowed to review it before construction. That new government has said they will make a decision by the end of this year on whether to stop and abandon and reclaim what's already been wrecked or keep going. And, you know, this is similar to what happened with Enron in the United States and California and a couple other things. This is simply just saddling a public service, something that, you know, our modern society can't function without electricity. And it's building capacity of electricity that is not necessary and is not efficient and is not economically viable, but because the owner, BC Hydro, is what we call a crown corporation, it's owned by the government, then, you know, it's just, well, whatever. It doesn't matter if we know what the fuck we're doing. Just bill the taxpayer. Who cares? So, I mean, every estimate that has been done, like even current, they've all kept the same thing. If Site C construction continues, everybody's electric bill in British Columbia can be expected to quadruple in the next 5 years. And that's not based on consumption or cost. That's just levies to pay for this disaster. So next week, we're going to be talking about this decision and comparing it to a couple other mega dams, hydroelectric dams in Canada that have gone completely off the rails, that have had 100% cost overrun, that are years late. And I mean, everybody needs electricity. If the supplier of electricity where you live is owned by the government and they're the only game in town, what choice do you have? they're just going to start sending you the bills for their idiocy. And, so this is the issue. It's looking like the new government will say, that's it, we're going to cut our losses. They're going to put out another up to $2 billion to shut it down and reclaim the land. But another 2 would make it about 5, and 5 beats 12 plus.
Yeah.
But yet, of course, there are those out there in British Columbia that are saying that we have to finish it. It's about jobs. It's the same old lie about jobs. It's like Keystone will create so many jobs. Yeah. How many people will it take to operate the entire line of Keystone? About 75. So it's the same kind of methodology.
Yeah, out there you guys got mega dams. Out here we got dam megas.
True enough. And then there will be the View Up Here Global show before Christmas, which I'm sure will be of interest to people in the community. It will involve free anons. It will involve a lot of pulling back of the curtain on free anons. And hopefully it will lead to the end of free anons. So that's, yeah, that's kind of a definite statement, but I don't make statements that are rash. I'm the one putting this show together. I know what's coming. It's time for free anons to end. That's all I'll say on that.
Yeah, I'm seeing more and more people coming to agree with that decision, I think. Yeah, on People's Radio, we got the Who's Culture show on Wednesdays with Nolan Hack and St. Louis Gal, and then we have this show on Fridays with me, Glenn, and a bunch of other people who aren't able to be here today. And on this show, I'm saying a lot, huh? It's because I'm tired. On this show, we're going to start, because we're on Fridays, and the Intel Group Domestic Terrorism release is on Fridays as well. We're going to start playing them on this show. Probably like right about this time after we go through all our, I did it again. I keep saying, as soon as we go through all the, God, I hate saying Glenn. I keep doing it, and I hear myself doing it, and then I do it again. So anyway, as soon as we go through all our upcoming stuff, we're gonna go ahead and play these domestic terrorism things every week. They're the statements from the op. So you want to go ahead and play that now before I say again?
Sure, go ahead.
All right. This is a statement from domestic terrorism for this week. Here we go.
Greetings, America. We are anonymous, and this is our weekly communication for the week of November 27, 2017 regarding the latest developments in Operation Domestic Terrorism. As many of you know, America is under an insidious attack by Nazis and those sympathetic to their cause. This has resulted in a rise of terrorist attacks upon innocent, unsuspecting citizens of the United States of America by individuals holding extreme right-wing and fundamentalist Christian views. It has to stop, and to this end Anonymous has initiated Operation Domestic Terrorism. The alt-right and the white supremacist terror organizations they enable, or Nazis for short, are continuing their violence, propaganda, and attempts to gain mainstream acceptance. We will counter their message of hate and fear while shining a light on their treacherous attempts to infiltrate our government, our media, and our freedom. This week, we have been continuing our investigation of Oath Keepers, that militia organization made up of law enforcement and military personnel who turn out to defend armed white ranchers protesting government agents but are conspicuously absent when it comes to protecting unarmed people of color protesting government agents. In addition, they have been seen providing security to Nazis and other white supremacists at their events. Why is this? We intend to find out. We promised that more emails and user data would be leaked from the official website, and that's exactly what has happened. We will keep you posted. In a shocking turn of events, the New York Times has published an article profiling a white supremacist in the Midwest. He is portrayed in a very favorable light, and the focus of the article reads like a sales pitch for white supremacy. How dare you? Do we need to remind you that the Nazi endgame is the usurping of our constitutional republic for fascism and genocide? How is it that anyone who holds such despicable goals should be painted in a positive light and normalized? Giving those views a platform is disgusting. We are discussing our options here, but rest assured that this will not go unanswered. As you will recall, last week we were repeatedly shutting down Daily Stormer, letting them get it back up, and then shutting it down again. And so on. They have since moved their site to a provider in Hong Kong. That, however, did not last. The Chinese government has announced that it is denying them service now. What did these idiots expect from a country whose people they want to eradicate? This whole thing has been a great source of amusement for us. Where will they go next? It doesn't matter, because we'll be waiting. This has been your weekly communication from Operation Domestic Terrorism for the week of November 27, 2017. Every week we will leave you with a fun fact about white supremacy. Here's this week's. You don't have to be Antifa to hate Nazis. Many people from all religious and political backgrounds and all walks of life that have nothing to do with Antifa hate Nazis. All you need in order to hate Nazis is a very basic understanding of ethics and morality. We are anonymous. We are legion. Good night, outright.
Good night, all right. Yes, please. I said, the first thing I said coming back in. Yo, I am so tired. You guys, please support optimistic terrorism. Punch a Nazi, figuratively online. Do whatever you can to end fascism. It's like, this is an op I really feel is so important. That's why we're gonna play him every week. It's something I've done before, even Ops Arena. I've been in, not that there was an op, but just anti-fascism. Very important to me, and it should be important to everybody. So get behind it.
Absolutely. You know, I mean, I really don't understand the confusion from so much of the general population about, you know, the responses you get. Oh, fascism's just a word. You know, it's, then you get people that are convinced.
Did somebody actually say that?
Yeah.
I mean, murder is just a word, but you don't want it to happen to you, right?
Exactly.
Genocide is just a word. Anything, if you're speaking about it, is just a word. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard anybody say. Sorry, it just shocked me when you said that.
Well, I mean, even what you just said, you know, murder's just a word, genocide. Yeah, it is when it's not happening to you. That's the problem. You know, that is the Western global problem. If it's not happening to these enlightened democratic citizens of the first world, if it's not happening to them, then it doesn't exist. That's, you know, I think that's got a lot to do with why we're in so many shit piles now. And, you know, how many times, you know, on every show that we're involved with, when it comes around to the subject of, I guess the friendly term would be societal readjustment, the more common word would probably be revolution, everybody agrees that, especially in the United States, nothing's going to happen until it's on, you know, Joe Q. Public's front doorstep. Nothing's going to happen until then. It's just like the story you hear about Nazism in Germany. They came for these people. I wasn't one of them. I didn't do anything. They came for these people. Well, it wasn't me. I didn't do anything. Then when they came for me, there was nobody left. You know, it's the same thing every time. But, you know, I guess people aren't too concerned about reading history or listening to other accounts. Idle's on. We don't have time for that shit.
Yeah, it's so ridiculous. I mean, people, oh, you know, I'm just minding my own business. It's not my concern while they're dragging your neighbors off.
Yeah.
Who do you think they're coming for next? They don't get it. It's just like, if you could really sit back and be like that, then you're worthless. You gotta stand up for others. You gotta fight for justice. If you don't, if we had done this 10, 20 years ago in the U.S., we wouldn't be where we are today. Now we're hearing it like, oh, it's too hard. But 10, 20 years ago, they were saying it was too hard.
Yep.
You know, it's when is it going to be not too hard? It's only going to get harder. The sooner you do it, the better. Should have been done already. But back then, I was crazy. United States isn't fascist. What are you talking about? Now, all of a sudden, they see it because it's in their face.
And then they say, well, I still have my job. I still have my new iPhone. I guess it can't be that bad. And they put their blinders back on, and that's that.
Yeah, people in the U.S. are standing in line overnight for iPhones. People in other countries are standing in, some other countries are standing in line overnight for rice and water to feed their families.
Or to vote.
Oh yeah, that too.
You know? I mean, it just blows my mind how minimalized this is when, you know, you see pictures of people in Afghanistan or Iraq with that blue ink on their finger that says they voted. And they're like letting the world press take a picture of them, and they're just so unreasonably ecstatic. We actually got to vote. And, you know, everybody in the West just goes, oh, yeah, good for you, yeah, whatever. But, see, they're starting from scratch. They have a chance.
Voting for them gives them a chance to mean something. Voting for one of these clowns here, you're going to get more of the same.
That's right. That's what I mean. And it's nobody's fault except us, you know? But again, you know, like you said, you know, people don't want to, you know, think past what's directly in front of them. That's too complex. And then if you do that, it's only a matter of time and still, hey, wait a minute, I fucked myself up here. No, I'm not thinking about that.
I see something it was a video online. I didn't watch the video. I just, you know, you scroll. I was looking for the optimistic terrorism video to play this, and it said, Trump isn't a liar. He's delusional.
Wow, what a distinction that is.
It just made me laugh. I'm sorry. I just looked and I saw it was still up on the phone when I was trying to get the topics for today's show. Trump's not a liar. He's delusional. It's all okay then.
As long as he's a white Republican delusionist.
Yeah. Before we really get going, I want to give a shout out to LOL Saints, because they've just been, for quite a while, they've been wrecking police websites and doing a lot of good stuff. And from what I'm understanding, they're going to be stepping it up, doing something really awesome soon. I'm not exactly sure what it is, but I'm sure we'll all find out. If I was somebody on Twitter, I'd probably follow at LULZSAINTS LOL Saints. I was just looking at that too. But our first topic was actually brought up by Gear, who's not able to be on the show today. And her topic was sexual assault in media versus sexual assault in politics. So like how Hollywood people get treated as opposed to how politicians get treated when allegations come up against them. And there is a huge difference in my opinion, and obviously Gear saw it as well.
No, I think anybody that goes past the 15-second sound bites can see that. I mean, what's really shocking to me right now, and I think when she made this decision, what to suggest this topic, what isn't said there is Roy Moore. I mean, some of the things I'm seeing on Twitter of people posting pictures. This morning I saw a picture of the lit message board, like every church has out front in the United States. Some Baptist church that said Jesus was wrongly prosecuted as well. And to make that leap just blows my mind. To compare Roy Moore, a man who was banned from a shopping mall for harassing under legal age girls, to compare him to Christ by a Baptist church, just completely blows my mind.
And I've said this on Twitter. These are the same people that not a year ago were screaming, if you let these gay people get married, they'll normalize it. What will be next? Pedophiles being normalized? Now, Roy Moore is on the stage of a church saying, these gay people just hate Southerners.
Yeah.
No, they hate pedophiles. So now you're the ones who are trying to normalize pedophilia while bashing gay people, because evidently they don't now, and you hate that. You hated them when you thought they did. Now you hate them because they don't support you, a pedophile. Roy Moore is a sick individual. Anyone who supports him is a sick individual. And this should never be normalized. I mean, I tell these people, fine, would you like a 31-year-old dude to come over to your door and pick up your 14-year-old daughter? Because if that's the case, then go support Roy Moore. Oh, you don't understand, it's different. He was a federal judge and this and that. What does that mean? So if you're powerful or rich, you can go rape my daughter. If you're not, then get out of here. You're just a scum. You should be in prison. Makes no sense.
Yeah, it kind of demonstrates to me this. I mean, I don't want this to sound overly offensive or anything, but I mean, my first thought about it is I hear stuff like that and I think there's the trailer park subservience built in. You accept it because these people have position or money or a last name. They're allowed a better life than you are. You accept that. That's what that tells me. And it's like, wow.
Well,
how can you, No, it just doesn't compute for me. It's like I think of the caste system in India when I hear comments like that from white, low middle class people. It reminds me of the caste system in India, where everybody is judged by their religion, the tint of their skin, and who they know.
Yep.
And their
it's
economic amazing
status as well mixed into that.
Yep. Well, you don't get one without the other in India.
Yeah.
So, and that mold is being cracked more and more all the time in the United States because, scam artist has no race. He's just a scam artist.
Yeah, it just seems like if you're a Republican, I'm trying not to say so I'm really working at it and I'm just stuttering. if you're a Republican right now, it seems like any Democrat that even does anything, huge or small, you know what I mean? If he just says something offensive to a woman, which is bad, or if he just fully goes crazy and sexually harasses a woman or rapes a woman or anything, they're terrible people, which they are. And I agree with the Republicans on that. But yet when it's your side, even if it's a child being assaulted, it's okay. It's not true. Don't believe it. We'll back him anyway. We need him to make a vote, whatever. And that's ridiculous. You can't have it both ways. You hate all these people for the same sins that your people are doing, but your people are better than them or something. It's so way out. I mean, well, I think they should boycott that church that let Roy Moore walk in and speak at the podium there. What was it, yesterday or the day before? Why would you let this guy in a church? Any young woman in that church that's under the age of 18 or 16 or 14 is unsafe while he's around. Why would you have them in a church?
Well, I think it's a demonstration. I think overall, on a global scale, organized religion is becoming more militant all the time in what they say, in what they support their believers doing. Religion is becoming more militant everywhere.
Yep.
You know, there are groups like the Quakers, like the Mennonites, some Unitarians. You know, I'm sure there are other denominations within Christianity that actually practice what they preach, but there's very few. And there seems to be fewer all the time, and you certainly don't hear about them, that's for sure. I think that's another issue. But again, you know, if people are unwilling to admit to fascism in everyday life, just read a goddamn book. The same things are happening here every day, more and more. And just like happened in the last couple most well-known fascist establishments, none of their press ever said that there's a storm coming either. You know? So, I mean, it's the same old playbook, but now you get it on your iPhone instead of listening to the radio.
It just puzzles me. I don't know how these people think. It's like, I don't care if you're a fast food worker, an actor, a producer, director, senator, congressman, or president of the United States.
Yep.
Everyone, when allegations like that come out, everyone should be investigated, and if found guilty, they should just lose their jobs. They should be shunned by society, looked down upon. You know what I mean? This is horrible.
Well,
and, you know,
isn't
even,
that...
even the Hollywood people, these people, give them a few years, they'll all be forgotten, they'll be working again. That's how it always is. People don't remember stuff from 2 years ago. But
Well, you know,
these politicians are just getting away with it, and nobody seems to care on their side.
that's interesting, the analogy you just gave there, because the punishment that you speak of that should be, you know, second nature for people, isn't that exactly what happened in the Bible over and over again to people who transgressed? They were simply cut out. You know, thrown from the ship, if you will.
Well, biblically,
Because,
I don't know if this is a transgression.
Oh yeah, transgression, all right.
In the Bible, you're supposed to take all the young virgins for yourself when you conquer a town. And even, was it Glenn Beck who brought up that Roy Moore was just romantically biblical, like Mary and Jesus of the Bible. He was 30-something, she was a young girl.
Well, she wasn't 14, I'll tell you that.
I think she was 12 or 14.
Oh, God. Well, I imagine that there's some...
That's God.
You know, I mean, I'm sure there's a new version of the Bible that probably lays something out that somebody can dig up that says Mary was 12. You know, so Roy Moore, 14, shit, that's no problem. You know, that's the way their logic works, quote unquote.
Well, I mean, that's how the whole religion started. Because back then, if the age, I don't think mattered so much as being married to the man you were with. And if you weren't married to the man and you got pregnant, or they found out you even had sex, they'd take you to the edge of town and stone you to death. So it would give one a lot of incentive to lie and say, no, God raped me, it wasn't this guy.
Interesting.
That's
But
how
I
I've
think...
always seen it.
But do we not have the topic as a comparison between what's happening in media and what's happening in politics? Well, I think it's, again, the old left-right paradigm is running this whole show, because it's completely assumed that everyone in Hollywood is a leftist, and the people that are getting brought to account in politics seem to all be on the right. You know, Wiener was an exception. He paid.
At least his name was appropriate. You can kind of see it coming from the name.
You know, but I mean, he was a Democrat. Well, we have to take him down right now. We can't stand for this. Well, what's changed? Oh, these people are Republicans. Okay, well, yeah, it's you can't believe anything you hear. Everything that is put out by media is a lie. That's a perfect way to make nothing truth. You know?
It's sickening, dude. I mean, it's really sickening. The
it is.
Washington Post is normalizing Nazis. The Republicans are normalizing child molesters. I just want to move to Canada and live with you, Glenn. You got an extra room?
Well, it's getting harder for people to get into Canada. But I know from first-hand experience, very recently, Americans have it pretty easy getting into Canada if they want to. So,
I mean, we have two options on both sides, Mexico or Canada. Both are better than here eventually. Watch. It's going to just get worse here. It's going to get worse and worse and worse because it doesn't seem like anybody's trying to stop it.
Yeah, well, don't forget the best analogy that a Canadian politician ever said. Being a neighbor with the United States is like sleeping with an elephant. So even going to Canada or Mexico, you can't escape it all. There's just no way. It's impossible. I mean, our politics are getting the Trump treatment. Yeah, it's only the goofballs, but it's here. And it's being legitimized. So, you know, it's just a matter of time. That's the problem with the U.S. Its so-called culture has global weight and global pressure. So, for once, you guys were the proving ground, and now you're exporting it.
Yeah, I don't know.
But as far as the media versus politics thing goes, I think it's just one bullhorn attacking the other. You know, they are two spheres of society that get a lot of attention, carry a lot of weight, a lot of money, a lot of power. So, like everything else, divide and conquer, you know. It's just the newest way on a massive scale to avoid the real problems.
You know, I'm looking at Twitter. There's this thing about you know, those religious people that wouldn't bake a cake for the gay wedding and discriminated against them. It's all going to court again for the second time, I guess, in December. And I was just looking at this and I'm wondering, would he bake a cake for Roy Moore for some 14-year-old girl's birthday or something? Would that be okay with him? Would his religious freedom allow him to do that, I wonder?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Because I'm betting the answer is that would be just fine, but gay, no.
Yeah, I have no explanation for this bullshit.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, pedos, they affect somebody. They destroy somebody's life, somebody who can't consent.
Yep.
Gay people are doing what they're doing. It doesn't affect anybody. I don't know. We did a whole show before. Doesn't affect me. Doesn't affect you. Doesn't affect anybody with the people that are there. It's just like, why do people care about this so much, but they're not jumping on child molesters? It's just so confusing to me, Glenn. I don't understand this. Like, it's terrible for a dude to marry a dude or a woman to marry a woman. Like that affects my whole life. I can't deal with it. But a guy molesting little girls, he's good. Let's elect him to Senate.
Yeah, it doesn't make a lot of sense.
You know, I'm on Twitter, Republicans. Can anyone send me some logic behind that? Because
No.
I'll be waiting.
No, they can't. But, I mean, you know, and we're seeing the backlash too, as well. Not to say it's good or bad. It's just, you know it's going to happen. I mean, let's say that the Matt Lauer incident was a year ago. There's no way he'd already be fired. There's no way. You know, it started with Ailes and O'Reilly. And I think that there's enough time has gone by that all these media conglomerates understand this costs money. This hurts. So, you know.
Well, just for the record, I don't know if everybody knows this or not, but before it hit, public opinion got mad and wanted O'Reilly gone. They paid tens of millions to people to keep quiet about it so they could keep a sexual predator working on him because he had a hit show on Fox being racist and talking bad about everybody, and God forbid some victim will ruin this for us.
Yeah. But I think that corner has been turned, and it probably should have been turned a long, long time ago, but it's been turned now.
Yeah, I think the corner was turned, Glenn, but I think there's a whole lot of rich white dudes out there going to certain people saying, hey, let's just shut up about what happened and let me pay you off before evidence. You know what I mean? I really have this feeling that's happening all over. And
well, I think
rich other non-white people too, like Russell Simmons and all them.
No, I think that always has gone on, but I think it's happening at a much higher rate right now.
Yeah, and a much faster, more terrified pace. Like, it's urgent now. This could come out at any time. Let me go to her first before she goes to the press, you know?
Well, I guess
a lot of people we're never going to hear about because they've just paid people off or silenced it because they know it's... I mean, you got to know there's a lot of rich people right now that are probably just living in fear, like, am I the next one? Am I the next one? Is someone going to talk? Oh my God. And I love it. I really do. I love it.
Well, that paradigm, I just consider that part of human nature. They're, you know, and I mean, this is another way that they're using this to normalize it within the public square. Because how many people alive don't have a secret, don't have something that they wish they had never done, have done something that has harmed somebody else? And, you know, for normal people, it's settled, you know, either one of a couple ways. Either you apologize and it's accepted, or you hope to hell that they don't tell people. So...
Yeah, but harming people, like, you know, saying something harsh or doing things like that, these people have destroyed women's careers. I mean, they devastated people's entire lives and got away with it because they could afford to do that. You know, everyone has things. You're right. Everyone has things they regret. Everyone has that. But it's just like on the scale. Like, look how many times these people have done it. It's not like one or two times. It's over and over. They're serial sexual predators. These people are really sick. When I say sick, I don't mean they need help. I mean they need, like, maybe baseball bat or prison help or something. But, you know, they always go to that, oh, I went to a week of therapy up at some place where I could play tennis and golf and do all the things I always do, and now I'm better, so it's all good. No, that's crap. If you was a poor person, you'd be locked away in prison for what you did. But since you're a rich dude, it's, you know, you get to go away for a week or two at some resort and call it therapy or a clinic or whatever. It's crap, man.
Well, this is the core problem of the American justice system is pay to play. That's the reality of it.
Yep.
You know, and I mean, just like we started on this, you mentioned it, no matter what happens in the U.S., whether it's a sexual abuse scandal or it's mass shootings or no matter what it is, nobody wants to talk about mental health. Nobody. And that's a reality. That's
a for mental health is what it is.
Well, if you don't talk about it, you don't have to talk about not paying for it.
That's true.
You know? I mean, that's also something that is a state of reality in Canada and the United Kingdom and everywhere. In the last 25 years, mental health has been virtually wiped out as a government service. while
In Canada
everything...
as well?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think if I said, when did the food court become the psych ward? Everybody probably has a story. And the same thing has happened up here, too. Because I can remember when you go to a shopping mall and there wasn't 10 or 15 people in there sitting at tables by themselves that don't quite appear to be functioning well in general society. You know, they all get kicked out for the day. Nobody takes care of them. They get their pills in a paper cup. We'll see you after supper. Get the fuck out of here. That's not mental health. That's a form of prison, is all that is, with day passes. And these people are turned out into general society. And it's not safe. Not that I'm saying these people are all, you know, forensic and ready to snap, but this isn't what's best. But it's being done because it's cost effective. That's it.
Yeah, I actually think some of the times that's a cop out here, though. They always, you know, as soon as a white guy slaughters a bunch of people, he's mentally ill. Other races don't get that benefit of the doubt. But
Well, I
also
think that's...
here, if somebody, you know, I guess the textbook treatment for mental health is give them a gun. So there's the other issue.
Well, again, I think when someone is deemed mentally disturbed or mentally ill, and someone isn't based on race, again, that's just the politics taking over the situation. It's got nothing to do with the reality. You know? But
I mean, I would say anybody that does that does some mass shooting has to be sick in some way. Like, that's not a normal thing people do. But at the same time, that's not an excuse to give them so they can get off lightly either. You know, they're sick. Like the guy who walked in a church, he was racist. He might have been
Dylan
mentally
Roof.
ill, but yeah, but he's a piece of crap, and he should be locked away. He should be. I love that guy that beat him in jail, and I love that he got money to get out.
Yep.
It's just, you know, that's a cop out. Oh, the poor guy's mentally ill. You know, a black dude can have a shootout with one guy. He's a terrible criminal. Lock him up. But some dude mows down 600 people, kills 50 of them. He's mentally ill. We have to consider mental illness.
And he has money.
Yeah.
You know, so again, that's the other thing. Oh, he had money, so he must have been okay. That's something that's worked its way in very slowly over time, since the Reagan years. There's this assumption, this default position, that if somebody's rich, they can't be a fucking lunatic. And that's completely wrong. They are the most dangerous kind of lunatic there is. And there's so many of them. But yet, because they have money, that buys them some absolution from being a nut bar. And I don't get that.
We have a mentally ill man as president of the United States.
True.
And I'm not saying that as a joke. Something is wrong with this guy. And it's not just his racist, misogynist, hateful, bigoted, the way he's always been. Something's really, really, really wrong with this guy. He's not, what he does, what he says, how he acts is not normal. I know people will say he's just been so rich his whole life he doesn't have a clue as to reality, and maybe that's the case, but it's just not normal. Not at all.
But,
it's terrifying.
Okay, well, I mean, a comparison I have seen being used more and more now is taking the same situation and comparing it to President Trump and President Carter, and how the reactions would be completely different by the press, by the American public, by everybody. And the blinding thing, in my opinion, is this fixation with wealth. Because Trump is supposedly so wealthy, people will simply not put the same labels on him that he deserves as they would on some normal person of normal means.
I know.
So
If he wasn't rich, he's stupid enough. He'd be something like a cop or something because he's dumb. I'm sure that I would be willing to bet money that all through his college and education, somebody was making donations to those institutions in some way, shape, form, or fashion. Because there's no way this guy got through regular schooling. I mean,
he didn't earn it.
I question if he could even read past a certain level, man.
Yeah.
He just
I mean, there
skated his
was
way through life with all that money.
Well, there was that story about I can't recall his name. Too bad Gal's not here. But a famed professor at Wharton School. And he said in something like 37 years of instructing, Donald Trump was the sorriest son of a bitch he'd ever had in a class. And, I mean, I don't have to know who the dude is. I don't have to know his politics. It doesn't matter. He taught at the Wharton School for that long? Yeah, I'm going to take his opinion seriously. But
Yeah.
depends what color Kool-Aid you drink, I guess.
It's just, how can you not see it? Like, these people are so blind. It's like, who's dumber, Trump or the Trump follower, or the Trump supporter? I mean, who has a lower IQ? It's almost like the chicken or the egg kind of thing.
Well, I mean, this is where you see the benefits of the fake news campaign. Because the more people you convince that everything is a lie, the easier it is to normalize the lie. When people lose the ability or desire to differentiate, then anything's possible from a propaganda viewpoint.
That's true, but wow. I mean, it's just so blatant, right in your face. I guess the thing is that these people that are diehard Trump supporters, they don't watch anything but Fox News. And they don't read anything that's not catering to their side. They don't want to hear both sides of an argument. They don't even want to think there's another side. And as soon as they hear the other side, fake news, the lies. These people are evil. They're against us. They're hateful. They're bigoted against us racists.
Well, I mean, look what that absolute piece of shit James O'Keefe just got caught doing in Project Veritas again.
Yeah.
And, them getting money from Republicans to pull this shit off, that tells you what the level of operations is for political power in the United States. That is purposely trying to set up what is regarded as one of the most accurate media sources. Even though Soros owns them now, or not Soros, Bezos, even though Bezos owns the Post, all that shit, there's still the Washington Post. I mean, I would consider them more trustworthy than the New York Times. The Times has done more than enough to shoot themselves in the foot in the last year, never mind the last decade. But for Project Veritas to purposely try to get the Post over on a fraud, a conspiracy, and then they get caught, and why are they skating? Because, in my opinion, right now, Veritas and O'Keefe are skating on this. It's like it's some kind of engineering week prank that they got caught doing. Like, this is insane. This is sedition. If you tried this kind of shit in 1938 Germany, James O'Keefe would be executed. If you tried it in Saddam Hussein's Iraq, James O'Keefe would be executed. If you tried it in
Wait,
Saudi
wait, wait,
Arabia
wait.
today, if this happened in Saudi Arabia today, James O'Keefe would be executed.
No, because James O'Keefe would be working on the side of the government. That's why he's
But
not in trouble now. But see, the thing is, that's even deeper than that. He did all this to make sure a pedophile, a child molester, did not look like a pedophile or a child molester.
yep,
So James O'Keefe and Project Veritas, again, Veritas, however you say it, again did something underhanded, but in this case, they're doing it to protect and defend a child molester
yep.
and make his victims' statements seem worthless and fake. That's why they did this. People
Yep.
need to really look at their motive behind this and why they did it.
And I ask people this: who would go through this much effort to discredit the words of the people coming forward if they actually were false? Nobody would go through all this if what they were saying was not true.
Yeah, I know it's true, and I know the allegations against Donald Trump are true.
Yeah.
Because out of his own mouth in an interview, like we said, I think it was a week or two ago, I said this, he admitted. He said, I used to run the joint. You could walk in and see all these beautiful girls naked. And he's talking about 15 to 18-year-old girls.
Yep. Yep.
Like, how come no one brings this up as being an issue? They just say, oh, that didn't go anywhere. How come she didn't bring it up before? How come it didn't go anywhere? He admitted it. Everything they said, he admitted. But no.
Well,
I
I mean,
didn't. It was probably just someone made the tape. It was false.
well, a reason this relates to what I said earlier. The reason I think this is being normalized is because there's a lot of 50-year-old white men out there who have been in middle management for 25 years, and they've done the exact same thing. And they have held the jobs of females underneath them over their head, or they just figured, okay, this guy is, whatever he is, a department manager or whatever, and he's got 25 years in. Who the fuck am I going to tell and keep a job? It's the same thing. It's the same damn thing. And these, I think, are a big part of the so-called Trump supporters. These are people who are scared shitless that their careers don't come to an end if somebody talks. That's why they support Trump. They live vicariously through him because they've committed the same sins.
Yeah, and the time it was going on at the college that I was dealing with this a while back. It was these older white men, and they were primarily messing with undocumented workers, women workers, and that brought up a whole nother set of problems because this one dude in particular, his wife was president of the college. He'd force these undocumented women workers to go out with him, and some of them were married, and so they didn't want to, but they had to. Because if they didn't, they can lose their job and be deported.
Yep.
And he made it very clear to them those were the consequences if they told anyone or did anything. And then his wife would if they'd speak up, his wife would fire them. And she was a so-called feminist, self-proclaimed feminist. So, it's ridiculous, dude. It's insane the power of these people. If they get a little power, they'll use it to get what they want out of somebody. And what does that do to that person? It demeans him. It hurts him. It just makes him feel so low, I'm sure.
Well, that brings up another point too. It's like, it seems that all these people that seem to figure out that they have levers that they can use on other people, it's always to do wrong or to cover up doing wrong. That's the thing that blows my mind. The levers of power are never used to help somebody anymore. They're used to threaten people that are victims. This is so ass backwards.
Yeah, I mean, I always hear these dudes, well, where do you draw the line? Like even the Young Turks, that Cenk Uygur, who all of a sudden wants to say, oh, there's good sexual harassers and bad ones. The old ones just don't know any better. And then I'll hear these people, where is the line drawn? I would say this to any dude who wants to know where the sexual harassment line is drawn for a woman. Put yourself in her shoes. You're a man, your boss is a man, and he does whatever, and you don't want to be with this man, and he does whatever to that woman, to you, that he did to that woman to you. How would you feel? What would you do? You see what I'm saying? Most of them, I'll beat him up, I'll do this and that. Yeah, okay, well, she turned him in, so shut up. It's that simple. Oh, he just rubbed her butt. That's not so big. Okay, so to every dude that say that's not a big deal, let your boss, some dude, walk in and rub your butt, and then just say that's not a big deal. It's just what he wanted
That's
to
right.
do.
Yep.
They don't seem to think of it like that. Well, I'm not gay. Well, she wasn't into that guy, maybe. So hey, it kind of equals its way out, right? It's just so ridiculous. Every way they can to try to normalize this and make it, oh, he's a guy, he can do that. No, he can't. He's taking
Well,
advantage of another person, and it's non-consensual. If she's cool with it and she's consenting, then whatever. Whatever
well,
you want. Have a ball. Have two. I don't care. But when you're using your power to take advantage of another person that wouldn't normally be willing, but they feel they have to, no, unacceptable. Actually, we're going to have a
well,
shorter show today. We're stretching it out, huh?
no. I mean, for what you said, what is the line? You know, where is that consent boundary hit? I think it's wherever the woman says it is. And there are those out there that would call me, you know, the hipster, intersectionalist, blah, 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 leftist, commie, whatever. Well, the issue is I'm not of those generations. I was born when the Beatles were the biggest thing on the face of the earth. So, and I've always thought that the line ends where the woman says it ends. So I'm not victim
The
to
other
this.
person in general, it's not always
Yeah,
a woman.
but I mean, this is a tactic that's being deployed. People who think like that are supposedly only from one demographic, and they've all been corrupted by the liberal Marxism. This is another thing that's being used about the uproar, about believing victims. You know, this is supposedly a new phenomenon that's a psyop. Well, no, I've always thought that way. Nobody told me to, or nobody told me not to. It's a decision I made long before this whole fucking industry popped up. So, you know, that's something else that I think just doesn't get attention. There's so much shit going on these days. It seems like the counter-information campaign is ready to go before the subject even is exposed. It's
Oh
just
yeah,
so
sometimes they got to back up.
you know,
Sometimes
it's
they
so
got.
insane.
Yeah, I see this with even mass shootings. Like, as soon as there's a mass shooting, these Muslims, blah, 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 then all of a sudden, oh, it's a white guy. Then all of a sudden, silent. Then all of a sudden, oh, maybe he this and then they start, oh, maybe it's not the guy. He works for the feds. It's some whole conspiracy now because it's a white guy. But when it was a non-white guy, he was just trash. As soon as a white
Yeah,
guy, there's got to be an explanation. There's no way he would have done that without a good reason.
yeah.
And it's almost like they have these prepared statements ready to go, or just change a little bit of info here and there and shoot them out. Because
It
it never
does.
fails to be the same crap over and over and over and over and over again.
It
But for
does seem
y'all,
like that.
but for all the dudes who say that they don't know where to draw the line and that's crap and all this and that, that's fine. Come over to me. I'll find this giant 7 foot tall, 300-pound gay guy and lock you in a room with him, and he'll tell you where you draw the line. How about that? And
Yeah,
you can see how the women feel.
absolutely. I
So
mean,
ridiculous, man. So ridiculous.
and
It needs to stop.
something else worth mentioning, and it never does. And if Gal was here, she'd be going, yeah, go Glenn. This also happens to men by women. You want to talk about being intimidated about coming forward in this patriarchal society?
That's true.
Try that one on for size. Yeah, my wife, that 50-year-old woman with the implants, she said that this is what I had to do. It's not right, but I don't want to get fired. Why don't you tell somebody? I'm supposed to be like the hot office guy, and now I'm supposed to come public and say that my postmenopausal boss demanded that we have sex. That's, I mean, in a society built upon ego, that's just not going to happen. So, I mean, I have heard some thoughts.
That's a little more rare, I think, but it does happen.
Oh, definitely, it's rare. But I've heard
it needs to be talked about. I mean, look, for God's sake, Terry Crews had a guy grab on him. He's giant. He's got muscles everywhere you could have muscles.
But,
like, what the heck? Some guy grabbed his crotch in front of him and his wife at a party. He went and pressed charges with LAPD recently about this. And then Russell Simmons comes out and like, I'll give him a pass, man. That's when he said, there are no passes. No one gets a pass or something he said. That was pretty awesome. But, I mean, come on.
Well, the thing I just want to put out there is we know there is an overwhelming tendency for this to be overlooked and buried when the guilty party are men. Think about when the guilty party are women. There is an overwhelming reluctance to come forward because of
the society. Yeah.
Yes, the stereotypes in society.
Yeah, and we need to get over that because it's not right either which way. You're taking advantage of somebody. You're hurting somebody. You're doing something against somebody else's will. And if it's not consensual, I don't care who it is. Man, woman, woman, man, 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 woman, woman. Anything. It's never right. There's never a time where that's the correct thing to do. If it's non-consensual, just leave it alone. Go away. Don't use your power against people. Who the hell do you think you are? Oh, I can do what I want because I'm rich or I'm famous or I'm the president or I'm this or I'm that. No. I mean, George Bush Sr. just been outed taking pictures with his grabbing women's... Actually, I think he stuck his hand up one woman's dress. And then he tells a joke about David Copperfield or something. And this is like this is something that's been going on and on for a long time. It's not something he just did once as a joke or something.
Yeah.
This is his thing. This is what he's known for.
Well, I mean, especially George Herbert Walker Bush, former director of the CIA, the first U.S. ambassador to the People's Republic of China, a member of Skull and Bones, as old boys club as it gets.
I had a cool idea, but mine ended up with the woman getting a murder rap, so we probably couldn't do it. But I think if we can give her some like underwear that has like a stun gun thing on the outside of it, so when he touches it, he gets zapped. That would be beautiful.
Well, you never know.
Grab his heart and pass out in a wheelchair, and that's it. Because he's a war criminal anyway. I could care less about the Bushes.
That's true, but you never know. That might be part of his kink. You got to be careful with that.
I like getting stun gun until I pass out. That's my thing.
Yeah, by a woman when I try and touch her genital area. Well, that might really turn him on. You got to be careful.
Yeah, but only be for a second before he turns off. We got two more subjects. One of them's really, really important we need to talk about, and the other one we could probably rush through real quick. So you want to go through the quick one? It's kind of related to Trump anyway. You think Tom Arnold's stuff that he's been bringing up about the elevator tape of Trump beating Melania Trump, and there's another one where he's supposed to have said extremely racist stuff on a tape, and supposedly some guy, so I don't have his name here, some guy's holding him, according to Tom Arnold, some guy's holding these tapes in case either the Russian mafia or Trump, or not Trump, the Russian mafia, or I'm tired, the Russian mafia or Mueller comes after him, then he'll release the tapes to whoever hits him first, maybe.
Well, it's newsworthy. There's no doubt about that.
If it's not true, then Tom Arnold is the awesomest troll.
Yeah, I think that has something to do with how this is being spoken about, because it's Tom Arnold. Tom Arnold is no stranger to this kind of thing in the past. It just hasn't been on a politician before. Is Tom Arnold crazy enough to be this long-term pissed off and determined to follow through? Yes. Tom Arnold's done that before too. So, I don't know. I mean, more is more. There is no stopping point anymore, obviously.
No, I'm sorry. Moore is a pedophile. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's Moore, not more.
Oh, okay.
See, I'm from Canada. We say Moore. It's
you
not.
Pronounce your words. Here we don't. Just
yeah.
More. It's all the same.
Yeah, it's not Tom Moore. It's Tom Moore up here. Sorry. But, yeah, I mean, I hope Tom Arnold's got the dirt. That'd be hilarious. I mean, that would be almost like a movie of a week. The idiot stick from The Apprentice gets brought down by that crazy fucker who was with Roseanne. That just makes sense.
The reality show. There's no better way to take out a reality TV show president than with somebody like Tom Arnold.
Yep. Exactly. I mean, this is Greek theater, man. This is way beyond us.
Oh, wow.
What the hell? Go for it.
It's just watching this is so surreal. Like,
well,
I never in a million years expected what's going on now to go on. I expected fascism to take hold, and it's been taking hold before.
But isn't the floor show
insanity? What?
Yeah, isn't the floor show outstanding?
I mean, sometimes as terrifying as it is, you have to just laugh. It's like,
yeah,
is this even real? Is this even like, he's standing there with these people. He doesn't even know who the heck they are. They're Native American code talkers from World War II. And the guy's like 10 years older than him, and he's like, you've been around here for ages. Nobody's been here longer. He's 10 or 15 years older than you, dude. He's not that ancient.
No, it's...
And then he goes, we have someone here called Pocahontas. Ha, ha, ha. Like, what is wrong with you? You couldn't think maybe this isn't a good idea? Your mind didn't say, hey, maybe what I'm saying is dumb. Maybe I could just say, good job. I appreciate what you all done for our country.
Well, I think that's more. I think that's more direct evidence of a mental defect, dementia related. I think that was just another Frederick Douglass moment. Well, yeah, this old Indian dude, he's got to be 300. Like, what the fuck? What the fuck? Come on, get a grip.
Does Trump know how old he is?
Do numbers matter? This is the main issue. I mean, how stable is this person? Nobody says stuff like that. Who knows what the fuck is what? They just don't.
Yeah, I mean, it's embarrassing to have a president that goes overseas and says, "I didn't know there was this many countries." Wow, who knew healthcare was so complicated?
Yeah, who knew?
President of the United States, you idiot. And on Twitter the other day, some Trump kin said they were listing all Trump's accomplishments, and one of them was defeated ISIS in 30 days.
Oh, yeah.
And I thought it was a joke. but he was serious. Some people in this country believe that ISIS has been defeated the first 30 days of Trump's presidency.
Wow.
How insane is that?
Well, as I've said on my show many times, even though it's not fair, people get the government they deserve. So,
You've said it on this show many times too, Glenn.
but I mean, if you have someone who's supposedly a functioning adult in your society and they truly believe that, you've got some big problems. Big problems.
Yep. Oh well.
And we put our faith in Tom Arnold to begin the healing process.
I mean, there's nothing left. Tom Arnold's our last hope.
Oh my
People
God.
aren't mobilizing in the streets or anything in a major way, so all we have left is Tom Arnold. Godspeed, Tom Arnold. Godspeed be with you.
Wow. Wow.
He needs
That's
a helmet,
scary.
I think. Like a helmet and a cape.
Oh God.
You got to do this
Don't-
right.
Don't give him the idea. Jesus Christ. Oh my God. Whatever. Wait until you start to see the headlines you see that the state of Hawaii tested their alert system today since the latest North Korean missile test.
Yeah.
So how long you think it's going to be before you see that Kim Jong-un is targeting Roseanne Barr with nuclear weapons?
No, because that would make Trump happy. He hates Roseanne.
Well,
No,
then
he hates Rosie O'Donnell. Never mind. Yeah, that might work.
But I mean, if Britain First can get retweets from this idiot, any crackpot right-wing site that puts that story up, that Kim Jong-un wants to kill Roseanne Barr, he'll probably retweet that too. So that's like a reverse Project Veritas.
You just gave us an awesome segue. Let me ask you a question here. Being that Trump retweeted that Nazi crap from the UK, and Theresa May came out and said that really wasn't cool, and then Trump went back and they started that little feud thing. Do you think this is going to affect the Lori Love trial? Like maybe they'll say, you know what? We're not going to hand him over to this crazy madman. That would be like handing him over to North Korea or Turkey or something. We're not doing it.
Well, I think what people have to recognize, especially in the U.S., is that the provision that Lori is seeking to stay in the United Kingdom, that provision was put into UK law by Theresa May previously.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so I mean, Theresa May is really struggling to grasp any sort of credibility or legacy or proof of something good that's been done by her and her party. I don't see any political purpose that is positive for the May government to hand over Lowry Love. There's no reason to do it. You can't win. You're not going to gain a goddamn thing. But if they keep him in the United Kingdom, invoking the clause that the current prime minister made law, I think there's a lot of mileage in that. So again, all things being political, I think it suits the UK government to refuse extradition.
I hope you're right. I know the trial is going. Is it going on today again too, or was it just yesterday and the day before?
2 days. That's it.
Oh wow.
So
the first day went bad. Yesterday I was, like I said, I was moving and doing some stuff, so I caught little bits and pieces, but it seemed more positive than the first day.
Well, in the first day, the Crown presents. The second day is the defense. So that's to be expected. But I mean, if all things were equal and justice was the objective, there's no way he would be getting extradited. So we'll see what happens. I don't think it hurts the May government to refuse extradition. I just don't see how it would from any side of the debate, unless it's the far right, and they're not going to care. They're just going to turn it around on them. So I think
I just want to be able to put the hashtag love wins all over my Twitter account. I'll be so happy.
Yeah. But I mean, if you want to be, at that level from a political public relations viewpoint, it makes a lot of sense for the May government to refuse extradition.
Of course, because you're protecting your citizens over a foreign power. That would make sense. I mean, it would get you.
But it's not just a foreign power. It's a foreign power with a clown car that won't stop honking its horn.
It's the evil empire, I know.
But Trump is making this very easy for May to say, trial at home.
That's what I was hoping. That would be awesome. Because he doesn't deserve that, man. Lori Love is amazing. He's such a genuine person.
But I think the other factor as well is just like here in the U.S. with the sexual assault purge, it hit a tipping point. And then they just started coming every day. I think the British press is waiting for a tipping point on the May government. Because it's very close over there between the Tories and Labour. It's very, very close. And even the British media, clicks is money. So if this could be the tipping point, who knows? I think it's just a lot safer for the May government to say trial at home. They're not going to lose anything by doing that. And they need all they can get. Why create another shitstorm? Because then it'll be, what do you mean? She's the one who made this rule. And now she won't use it. That's big. That could be very big in the British press.
Yeah. That's the only time I talk bad about foreigners, quote unquote foreigners, is when I see people from the UK or even some from Canada from time to time just praising Trump. Make America great again. Donald Trump. Oh, bless Trump. He's so great. You're not even in this country. Stay in your lane, you jackass.
But see, that demonstrates to you that the American cultural influence is global.
Yeah. It should be.
Well, no. But I mean, they can create bots and goofball support fake accounts and say they're from anywhere. I mean, look at the way Israel runs social media. There you go.
I don't even understand how anyone can support that, but that's a whole nother show.
That it is.
So when is the decision? Do you know when the decision for Lori Love comes in, or?
No, I don't.
So there's no more trials. That was it. Yesterday was the end.
Yeah, that's it for the hearing. Now the magistrates will, take their time and issue their decision at some point.
They better do the right thing.
Yeah. I mean, I really think that between Brexit and who's behind it and Theresa May and the idiocy of Boris Johnson as so-called Home Secretary, their Secretary of State, and the issue with the Scotland referendum again, I just think that they need something that they can wrap themselves in the flag about. And I think Lori Love is the way to do that and appeal to people who are not voting Tory.
Whatever works, man. Whatever works. I don't know. I guess their Labor Party might be better than our Democratic Party here, but I see the Tories as Republicans, and I know they're kind of the same, but I think their Labor Party might actually be a little bit more for the people.
Yeah.
Than our Democratic Party. But my main concern is Lori's safety and his happiness. He doesn't deserve any of this. He doesn't. What person hacking anything, I don't care what you could shut down Amazon for a year. I don't care. You could shut down the White House. You could shut down the CIA. I don't care. Like whatever you can imagine hacking, besides like something that hurts and kills people, like shutting down a power grid at a hospital or something. But they're trying to give people more years than murderers. It's insanity.
Well,
It's like you could kill somebody in the United States and get 7, 15 years, 20 years maybe. But you hack something, you're looking at 99? Come on.
well, this is in part because of the way computer crime is interpreted, and the United States is on one side, and pretty much the rest of the world is on the other side. In other parts of the world, like the EU, like Japan, Southeast Asia, at the end of the day, if you get hacked, it's your fault. Why didn't you prevent it? Except in the United States. In the United States,
I could say there's people that don't know that buy a computer and get hacked or a phone. Okay, that happens. But yeah, you're right. These major corporations with millions and billions of dollars, they should be super secure. They should pay all the money to secure, because that security is their customers' information. But the fact is, they don't care. Why would I spend money on that? It doesn't matter. I'd rather just pay some, little fees here and there to get everybody credit monitored for a year or 7 years or whatever, and pay off some people to some lawyers, and then get back to business, because it's all about profits, not about people with these companies.
well, that's the difference in the United States. In the United States, the government will prosecute those who find the vulnerabilities. The corporations are not forced to have good OPSEC. In Europe and elsewhere, they are. That's the difference. In the United States, the corporations are lazy about their infrastructure and their security and their access because the law allows them to be.
Yeah, in the United States, it's better to spend your money paying off politicians than it is to protecting your security of your customers.
Exactly. Because we will kill the messenger 100 times over.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the issue there that I see. Because look at the UK. Most of LulzSec was British citizens. They were all prosecuted in the UK, served their time in the UK. So why does Lowry have to go to the US? Fuck that.
Yeah, there's no reason for it other than to torture them.
Malice. That's the reason.
Yeah. Makes me sick, man. It makes me so sick. I really like Lori Love, just from what I know of him. He's really awesome. And he really doesn't deserve any of this.
No, not at all.
Anyway, yeah, I'm sure I speak for everybody on this show who's not here now and whatever when we say we support Lori Love like 3,000%.
9,000.
Infinity thousand. Beat you, ha.
No, 9,000 is that magic number.
Infinity thousand. That's the biggest number in the universe.
It's huge.
It's huge. It's bigly. Believe me, it's tremendous. Yeah, so anything else you want to add, or we can just wrap this show a little early? Because I think the reason the shows go longer is because we have more people talking.
Well, that means there's more people to pull us off track.
Yeah. We went on fewer tangents today.
Well, yeah.
Whenever Glenn leads, we're professional. If I was leading, we wouldn't have got off we would have been on legalization of marijuana for a half an hour. Don't know how we would have got there, but we would have.
Oh well, these things happen. That's the thing about going live, man. It goes where it goes.
Yeah, we can't all be like the view up here, structured. Some of us are just free spirits who want to do whatever happens at the time.
Well, the downside to look at that is I'm the one that has nothing better to do than spend all the time I do getting my shows ready. So, I mean, it's not necessarily a good thing. It's just your point of
It
view.
is a good thing to your listeners, though. It's really, I'm sure me as one of your listeners really appreciates all the work you put into that show. The View Up Here is amazing. Like, I highly encourage everybody to listen to The View Up Here on BTR on Wednesday nights at, was it 6 p.m. Pacific time?
Yeah.
Yeah, like, listen to Who's Culture, then listen to The View Up Here, because it's a great show with a great host. Oh, and Top Gear Live on Sunday. We don't know what they're going to be talking about, but if they were here, neither would they. So I feel pretty much just like one of the people on Top Gear Live.
That's accurate.
Yeah. So yeah, anything else?
I was just thinking, anything else that I say will just draw heat. So no, I got nothing else.
Save it for the global show, Glenn.
No, it wasn't even that. I was just considering, I mean, this is like a weekly thing. So at this point of every time I'm on this show, I just kind of, go through my bookmarks of the week in my head. And I came up with a couple, and no, I'm not going to comment. To hell with it.
You haven't said this in a little while, so let me just say it again and make it very clear. If any of you other hosts on this show who are not here today are listening, this is your show as much as mine. You have as much say in it as I do, maybe more. So just, just because I'm the person that pushes the buttons and writes some subjects down, this is not my show. This is all of our shows. We're all equals. And I know people tend to think it's mine and thank me for, it's not like that. So get over it.
But being a host, I know that you are the one who's pushing the buttons. So I'm just happy that I don't have to do it for once. So yeah, right on, man. Thanks.
I can mute you at any time I choose.
That you can.
All right. So I guess thank you people for listening. Thank you, Glenn, for being awesome as always. And good luck to Lori Love. We're all standing behind you and wishing you the best and trying to do whatever we can to help from wherever we are. And we'll see you next week, probably with some more people on here. Have a good week, everybody.
Ta-ta.